Hail and Mashes Adventures, welcome to Dragon Age Veilguard. It's me, Baldurs Gate, and today I will show you my new build for Warrior. And we will have full rage, we will deal more damage when we are at full rage with our other abilities and stuff. And that's basically what we do. We will have unlimited rage every time, and all you need to do is to just spin. I don't know, it looks amazing, it feels amazing. And this build actually got a really nice story, how it came out to be true and alive. So, first of all, it's completely broken, it's insanely fun to play, and this build will remind you about some Whirlwind Barbarian from Diablo 4, and basically like any other spinner build for classic warriors in your action RPGs. To make everything work, of course, we need correct gear, right companions, and most importantly, skill tree. And I will go through everything, explaining right from the beginning, and also give you advices how you can go through the game, because while I will be showing it as like max level character, almost max level character, you actually can make this build work very early in the game and enjoy it. The specialization for today's build will be Slayer, and that's where we will go and move forward when we're leveling at the beginning. And actually it wasn't like the main idea of the build to make Whirlwind like spinner build at the beginning. Actually, I wanted to make staggering warrior, but this build not only can inflict like insane amounts of stagger at enemies, it also can be very fun to play. So we start with Tumbling Blades. That's the first trait, and this trait will basically give us ability to double dodge and then make quick attack. It's pretty useful in the fights, that's why I really recommend having this. And then we're basically moving into Slayer category. So we're getting Rage, takes 50% longer to begin to decay, greater passive rancor, and then we're getting Spectral Bulwark, Smash duration ability that can basically give you a shield that will stagger enemies and increase your defense. And while you actually can want and go to Slayer as fast as possible, in reality you don't need to, and basically it's because Slayer will be locked behind level 20, this part will be locked behind level 30, and we don't need right part anyway. That's why I really recommend you getting this node to increase your rage generation first, because it's really hard to get a lot of rage with a warrior, especially in early game, in my experience at least. And then we're starting our road into Champion Slayer category. So getting stagger from abilities plus 20% over here, and as you can see we are focusing on stagger a lot. Equipping ability of each damage type increase ability damage by 20%. That's a nice node over here, and we definitely can use it to get a little bit of ability damage, but we won't actually benefit from this because I like some different builds. I will explain it in a few minutes, but right now basically we're going to Shellbreaker to increase damage versus armor, and also Flaming Weapons on successful takedown. So you try to generate stagger from weapon hits, then you perform a takedown, you gain Flaming Weapons, your weapons start to inflict extra fire damage, and you start to inflict extra stagger. So that's like basic idea how we actually can inflict a lot of stagger at enemies, make them fall on their knees and take them down. Then we're getting more stagger from charge attacks, passive over here, and also Whirlwind. Area Smash ability that will do 1.6k damage when you level up and get all the passives, and the final hit of this action, of this ability, will inflict extra stagger, so pretty powerful stuff. Then we can get heavy attack damage plus 10%, and also Rolling Thunder. Now when you charge attack, you can make one more charged attack, and basically you're doing 2 charged attacks in a row, which is insanely powerful combination. And with our passives over here, you will have more stagger from charged attacks and heavy attack damage plus 10%. And basically your heavy attack, your triangle button Y on Xbox, will inflict insane amounts of stagger at this point of the game. But at this point of the game you will be around level 10, probably even like lower, depending on how much wolf status you will get. That's why you will have like questions where to go next, so where to go on the tree. And we're getting back, and instead of increasing damage of our abilities and stuff like that, I really recommend you going first to the top left. First of all, you increasing damage of your charged attack plus 10%, then we performing takedown and healing ourselves with deflect, which will deflect basically one weapon or like skill attack from enemies. Stagger from weapon attacks plus 20%. Again, we're focusing on stagger a lot. And before you will achieve like insane amounts of damage, this stagger will give you a lot of benefits and you will put enemies on their knees a lot. Now, you can hold down your final attacks, strengthening the impacts, releasing with perfect timing as powerful effect based on your weapon type. Basically, you will crush your enemies a lot by doing this combination with charged heavy attacks followed by charged heavy attacks. It will be like basically combination of charged heavy attacks with extra final attack effect, and that's pretty crazy. Then we get decisive finish, increasing damage of charged and final attacks at the same time, and also getting slice strike, dealing more damage to enemies who are suffering from afflictions. It's really easy to like inflict affliction on our enemy. You can do it with your belt, your liabilities and stuff like that, and actually with your like weapons too. And basically we're going over here just to get this fire damage plus 10%. So while we're focusing on physical damage, we will have this fire weapons when we take down enemies, so extra fire damage is also beneficial for us, and we want this heavy armor mastery. So while wearing a heavy helm and armor, your defense will be plus 20%, and you are now less likely to be disrupted when getting hit. That's very nice because we will charge a lot of attacks with our charged heavy, and we want to be able to take a hit, and also we don't want to be disrupted. That's a great strategy when you're going for staggering build. Again, you're building your defense up and you're also disabling your enemies pretty easily. So that's like the strategy and main idea of the build. In the beginning of the game, you actually can take medium armor mastery for more damage. It probably will be a little bit beneficial for you, but especially on hardest difficulties, I really recommend you trying this heavy build with heavy armor mastery. As you can see, I got two nodes over here, rage generation plus 10%, and each of your active advantages increase damage dealt by 10%. Very useful because armor mastery is advantage, as well as fire weapons and other advantages we can get, but it's not like main and important nodes, and you can get them later. From now on, you should be able to like reach level 20 and finally get your specialization. So we're getting specialization in Slayer, getting our new ultimate for gold and glory. In my opinion, it's one of the best ultimates in the game, looking like amazing, feeling amazing, and also heroic leap. It's strike smash ability. You're basically leaping forward and dealing high stagger. That's basically what we need. We need to leap and put enemy into stagger mode. Like our build and our combination is already ready. So we get this heroic leap to close down distance to our enemies. When we close down distance, we activate Spectral Bulwark to increase our defense in close combat, also to inflict some stagger when they attack us, and this skill requires no rage at all, so you cast it completely for free and you can use it for 60 seconds. And then we're basically starting to whirlwind. We're starting to spin, be like crazy spinner, and destroy our enemies. That's the combination of skills. But when you get this heroic leap, also don't forget to get penetration plus 15% with upgrade to smash abilities, and smash abilities are now charged attacks. For whirlwind, this applies only to final hit, but still. Now any like smash ability will benefit from charge attack bonuses. Heroic leap is smash ability. Spectral Bulwark is smash ability. And of course whirlwind will benefit from this charge attack bonus also to final hit. So now every like node we took that gives more stagger from charge attacks, more charge attack damage will also benefit our skills, and that's amazing. So after this, you're getting physical damage plus 10% and also upgrade to strike abilities. Strike ability will be only heroic leap in our arsenal, and hitting enemy with strike ability grants precision. Precision is your buff effect, and this effect will basically give us 10% more damage with other abilities, hits, and stuff like that, which is really crazy. So this will be basically blocked behind level 30, but I will explain what you will get when you reach level 30. First of all, you get in two-handed wind up. Now you can hold your weapon attack, and charge attacks with your two-handed weapons can be charged even further. Basically, you can charge 2 times to inflict insane amount of damage. Then we're getting more damage to charged and final attacks once again to basically demolish our enemies, and charge attacks generate more rage relative to charge level. Basically, you charge your weapon, you inflict 1 instance of damage, and you instantly get enough rage to start your combinations. But not only this. Here is the most fun and insane stuff. Our smash abilities is also charged attacks now. So whenever we hit enemies with our rage abilities, with basically our abilities, they considered as charged attacks and also will get more rage. So instead of spending rage, we actually will get more rage. You will see it in action just in a second. And after shot delay, charge attacks deal additional physical damage. That's a nice buff for us. So basically get it as soon as you reach level 30 and you're finished with Slayer part of the tree. What you do in between, before you reach level 30 and before you reach final level. I would say your most important and first task will be to upgrade your Whirlwind, basically area smash ability. And to do it, we need to take this overhand smash to make smash abilities deal additional 50% damage versus armor and more stagger, of course. And to the right part, there is physical resistance, and also strike abilities will replenish some rage. Smash abilities will reduce enemy defense by 20%. So after you hit enemy with your Whirlwind, which is smash ability, will reduce defense and start inflicting more damage. This strike ability is optional. Our strike ability is heroic leap, of course, and basically if you will try and use it to defeat enemies, that's a nice note to have. If you don't like to do it, definitely ignore this and start your way towards this area. So what we got over here? Here I took everything, and that's where you want to be at around level 40. Critical damage plus 10% with upgrade to area abilities. Hitting multiple enemies with a single area ability grants quickened. So as you can see, we already got abilities to get some buffs and quickened another buff that will reduce the cooldown of our spells, so we can spam them a lot more. That's really useful stuff. And also, since it's our advantage, if we got reinforcement node over here, we will deal extra 10 damage for each of advantages. Then we get our strike ability upgrade. Strike ability is guaranteed to do critical damage versus enemies who is away, and again it's pretty nice stuff. Basically, when you use heroic leap against enemies and trying to close the distance to them, basically you will get some benefits, and also you will critical strike them. After you critical strike them, target will be weakened, which is great, but whatever. On this part, we're increasing damage of our light attacks. We don't care about it too much, but we want to increase strike abilities to deal more damage versus low health enemies, and also upgrading area abilities. The scope of area abilities greatly increased, so we basically will have more area to cover with Whirlwind and aim more easily. Then we got Insight Violence. Generate 15% more rage from weapon attacks, and doubled against enemies suffering from affliction, pretty nice stuff to do, and have stagger from final attacks plus 20%. That's where you'll be completely broken and start staggering every enemy in few seconds, because basically you're doing stagger charged attack 2 times, which we'll consider as final attack at the same time, and you will deal just insane amounts of stagger, especially with the right abilities. Then we get into Cleaving Strike, and after we get Cleaving Strike, we want to use it, but why do we need abilities that we will never use? Of course, we will get this charge attack damage over here, and also maximum rage plus 50, but every time you pick an ability, you will get ability damage plus 15%. That's why if you think that you don't benefit from one of abilities in my tree that I recommended you actually can remove it completely. For example, you're not using strike abilities against low health enemies, and just get any ability. It will just increase your ability damage instantly, and that's a great way to basically do some stuff. Also, if you're not using stuff like Downfall, Airborne attacks, it's also very nice to have, because there's some advanced specs. For example, this stuff will give us weapon damage plus 10%, which is really smart to have. And at this point of the game, you will be completely broken, especially with the right gear. And that's where you want to spend your last points when you're leveling up. So first of all, from our Spectral Bulwark, we can go on top, increase rage generation, we should already have it. Enemies take more stagger from environmental impacts, and also damage versus barrier plus 20%. That's possibly like last points you want to have in your build. But when you're moving towards level 50, get explosive toss. You want to use toss a lot and explosive toss, but you will benefit from these runes and nodes over here. So first of all, damage versus barrier plus 20% with upgrade to duration abilities, and duration abilities will grant immovable. From this point of the game, you'll cast your spectral bulwark and you can't be interrupted. So you can just jump on enemy, you use spectral bulwark, you start charging your attack, you won't be interrupted, you gain some rage and you inflict a lot of stagger, you defeat enemy and start spinning. That's our combination and ability and main idea of the build. Then we upgrade in smash abilities. Breaking enemy armor or barrier with smash ability grants enhanced damage. That's another advantage that will give us more damage overall. Advantage duration plus 20%, smart to pick when we benefit from advantages, and defeating enemy with a smash ability grants rally party. Again, another advantage for us for even more damage buffs. Upgrading to duration abilities, effects of duration abilities will be increased by 50%. Again, I don't know which effects will be increased from Spectral Bulwark, maybe damage, maybe our defense, but whatever, it will have a nice effect on our build. Then we want to have this node over here. Your rage no longer decays below 50. So this will give you ability to start a fight with a jump that will cost 1 rage, then use Spectral Bulwark that uses basically no rage, and then you generate as much rage as possible with charged heavy attack. That's it basically. Maximum rage plus 50, and another skill just to increase our damage. Damage versus armor plus 20%, enhanced damage on critical hit kill, and critical damage plus 10%. Again, we will benefit from this critical damage only in late game, because we got ability to crit only towards late game, and only with our long range jump ability. Then we can have this upgrade to smash abilities. So smash abilities will cover a greater distance, and distance will depend on ability, and enemies are knocked down when their armor breaks, so that's nice stuff too. Here's the trick. So Whirlwind is a smash ability, and actually you want to have this node over here with smash ability a lot earlier, and probably I even recommend you getting this node a lot faster. So just go to the top right as fast as possible when you're able to do it, and get this part of the tree basically as fast as possible. You can even completely forget about explosive toss, you won't actually need it a lot, but there's not a lot of stuff that you will need, because we already will be insanely powerful. So now let's get to the gear part, and I will show you how to make everything work like magic. And as I told you, this build will focus on staggering your enemies, that's why we're using Extravagant Plate. It's unique heavy armor, and to find uniques, it's really easy in this game. They will always be in the same locations, you don't need to upgrade them, you will get this basically armor from the get-go. To find this armor, you need to know locations of unique items, and I got insane video for you which shows every location of every unique item in this game. Watch link in the description, but from now on let's move to our main stuff. It's basically Elven Rock Breaker. It's insane epic mole, and as you can see, while we got some nice physical damage, we got 2.4k stagger at the same time. That's just insane number of stagger, and at the same time this Elven Rock Breaker basically is the best staggering weapon in the game. At first I thought Anvil Breaker will be better, because it got more stagger, some overwhelmed, stagger duration, but in reality, you know what? In reality, Elven Rock Breaker dealing a lot more stagger than our Anvil Breaker. And since we got insane power, I actually switched my staggering augmentation that I used first to charge attack damage. Charge attack is just insane, and that's pretty much makes this build a lot better. You actually can have 25% stagger augmentation on it if you wish even more stagger, and that's pretty crazy having 3k stagger on this weapon, but you don't need it. So this weapon will have rage generation from the get-go, rage on kill, which is great, and gain enhanced damage when expending rage 3 times in a short duration. Again, it's nice to have advantages that will increase our damage output. Pretty nice, and also insanely cool looking mace in my opinion. And that's what we will use in our hand and our weapon. Still, you can benefit from your other weapons in your arsenal. While you not will be using one-handed weapon, Woodsong Cleaver will give you rage generation, and rage generated from taking damage, and barrier and armor damage will be increased by 1% for every rage. So that's pretty nice buffs considering we don't even need to use this weapon. I got 20 damage at low health augmentation on it. I'm not sure if it's working or not, but whatever. For our shield, I'm using legendary hitter Sentinel's Glory. So as you can see, it's basically wheel jumper set of weapons, and that makes it easier to build, especially in early game. So if you don't know, basically there is icons on your weapons, and as you can see, it's a wheel jumper weapon. And you will have a lot more chances to encounter these weapons when you open chests in Arlatan Forest, wheel jumper location basically. Also make quests, do companion quests in this zone. So Belarus quest in the zone will help you find like a lot of this stuff basically. It doesn't mean you will upgrade these weapons to legendary tier while you exploring this area of the map, but you will have a lot more success and you will upgrade it a lot faster if you explore chests in those areas. So for our shield, we're using Sentinel's Glories that will give us physical resistance, and it will deal stagger on perfect defense, deal some stagger around you on perfect defense when you upgrade it even more, and stagger an enemy nullifies their defense. That's why I picked this shield. Plus 15% damage at high health augmentation, but when I upgraded it to legendary tier, after you stagger enemies are basically have no resistances, no defense, and we basically destroying them insanely easy if we haven't done it already. So our armor, extravagant plate, insane defense, and also increased staggering duration, takedown damage, and on takedown you gain gold and glory. I got 30 defense flat augmentation on it, and that's one of the best heavy armors in the game in my opinion. Actually, Plate of the Paragon is also very nice heavy armor, especially if you upgrade it, just to have more resistances and defense. Also it looks like glorious, but still I like to have my unique, and I just like the looks of this like gladiator warrior. So helmet will be golden casque. It's Octopus faction helmet, and it have more stagger, takedown damage, and you will have more stagger relative to Lords of Fortune, basically Octopus faction. And since we will inflict lots of stagger, we will do lots of takedowns, and on takedowns, if you upgrade it to legendary tier, you will gain ultimate rage, which is great. Now let's talk about our amulets and other trinkets. First of all, belt. Belt is pretty easy and straightforward, just more rage generation. I really like to be like unstoppable and spinner that spins all the time. That's why I picked this belt. There's another options, but basically like you can have defensive belt, you can have belt that gives you weapon damage. You can even have heart-beaten belt for applying stagger in area and potion use, but I just enjoying this rage generation in this build. Then our amulet will be Allmother's Corpse, again wheel jumper amulet. This build is really easy to level up and make, and you will have smash ability damage, armor damage from smash abilities, rage when using smash ability versus enemy with armor or barrier, and smash abilities will gain added damage from flaming weapons. That's great, we can easily get flaming weapons, we will add damage to our smash abilities, and our main ability Whirlwind is smash ability of course. Got plus 15% critical damage augmentation on this amulet, but whatever, you can pick any actually. For one ring I got Amaranthine Loop, and this is staggering ring, so we got plus 25% stagger instantly. When we upgrade this ring, we got stagger duration, takedown damage, and takedowns are now considered a lot sooner, so pretty nice like buff for us. For augmentation I got apply shocked on ability critical, and again that's augmentation based on our skill distribution, because with heroic leap from the large distance we will always make this skill as critical strike, so we will always have ability critical and get shocked, and shocked will increase stagger on our enemies, which is great for staggering builds even while we're not applying shocked by other ways. And the second ring will be Call of the Hole, again unique ring that gives more stagger, takedown damage, and gain random advantage on takedown, which is great because every advantage increases our overall damage output. For runes I'm using plus 10% stagger, plus 10% ultimate generation, and plus 10% damage flat. That's it. For our skills, yeah, we're using Whirlwind, but to make our spinner really unstoppable, we need plus 2% second duration. Plus 2 second duration augmentation on this whirlwind ability. Yeah, that's the main stuff to make everything work like magic. Because it will already go off cooldown, we already will generate some rage, and basically we will be amazing. That's the secret, and yeah, don't forget you can augment your abilities, basically, that's the secret for this build. Then we got minus 15% cooldown duration for our Spectral Bulwark, and also we get Heroic Leap with 25% ability stagger. And that's our build. So for companions, do we need some special companions? Actually, we don't care too much. I like to have at least Lara in my party, just for time slow, that I can slow down time and use abilities without consuming any rage, and that's one more trick to make build completely broken. Basically, our main combination, which inflicts and consists of Heroic Leap to jump forward, Bulwark to have defense, and then we slow down time, cast Whirlwind without consuming any mana, any rage at all, and then we will have unlimited rage, you will see it. And also she can replenish automatically without casting, even when you use time slow ability, replenish will be triggered if you're low on health. You won't be low on health a lot, but still it's nice. Another companion that can be beneficial for us is Harding, but only when you finish her quest line, and you will get this Veilguard augmentation for her. Harding weapon attacks will occasionally be replaced with Titan Stones, and Titan Stones will apply bleeding on our enemies. So, by having Harding in our team, also we can use enhanced damage with Adrenaline Rush, but you will benefit from Harding only if you take this note in the bottom left over here, Bloody Vengeance. Charge attacks with Mauls will deal more damage versus bleeding enemies, so that's the only thing where we can actually benefit from Harding. But still, that's nice stuff to have. Let me show you all combinations in action, let's fight. That's basically how we start a fight. As you can see, we got 1 rage to jump and inflict critical strike. It will be always critical. Then we're doing Bulwark, slowing down time, and starting to spin. That's it. After we spin, we will generate rage instead of spending it, as you can see. And spin will be insanely large duration, and we will spin unlimited amounts of time instantly. So that's basically what we're doing. Against bleeding targets, we're doing extra damage. After we spin and jump forwards, we basically... that's basically everything we do, yeah. So we just run around, spin, and doing this insane amounts of spin. Enemies will take large amount of stagger. We can charge attack, don't forget, for really crazy amounts of stagger, and it's really easy to make a takedown on these enemies, just like that. And we will have full rage, we will deal more damage when we are at full rage with our other abilities and stuff. And that's basically what we do. We will have unlimited rage every time, and all you need to do is to just spin. I don't know, it looks amazing, it feels amazing, and that's a lot of fun. And you can build it to deal more damage, but still, damage is pretty nice. I like stagger a lot more, you know, it's looking crazy and looking fun. That's the hardest difficulty with enemies with extra health, of course, that's why they are pretty beefy, so I can show you everything. But again, everything is pretty simple. You just charge your weapon. On second charge you're doing this attack and then charging your final attack for even more damage. And as you can see, just 2 attacks is enough to make enemies staggered. You can charge a weapon up to 3 times and actually demolish enemies in 1 hit. Close distance with the strike, and my favorite, for gold and glory, you jump on top and destroy enemies. Yeah, I got this weird bug, for some reason my ultimate keeps changing, so let me get gold and glory. And again, that's the coolest part about this build. You will actually cast your ultimate, so instead of running around and doing nothing, you will actually cast your ultimate a lot, because when you stagger enemies, you can actually benefit from insane benefits that is basically extra critical. And even not charge attacks, staggering mages in a few hits. As you can see, it's really easy. Stagger even on hard difficulty. After stagger, we're gaining a lot of ultimate, and just by staggering 2 enemies in one fight, which is no-brainer. Again, it's hard difficulty, and it's really hard to stagger our enemies in reality, but not for me. And I can spin and win, and he will go into the pit. This is Sparta, baby. Okay, Goodbye, bro. You're going to the pit too. Let me stagger you. Jeez, I'm staggering with 2 hits. What a poor dude. What a poor dude, actually. So, after a little stagger, we can do this for gold and glory. Finally, my favorite ultimate. And look at my advantages. Damage will be just insane. Yeah, staggering more and just spinning around. Just to destroy this bro. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. How much fun this build is. Oh, jeez. One more spin. Goodbye, bro. I'm coming for you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this build, and you will have blast playing it in Dragon Age Veilguard. If you're enjoying content, make sure to subscribe and see you in the next videos. See you guys!